All right. So hi everyone. My name is Harsha Agarwal. Many of you might know me from beforehand. If you have attended, the webinars from the side of the Homework App and team. For those of you who have joined new, well, I am the speaker who speaks mostly in all the webinars in connection with the Homework App and team on different topics, which are very relevant to teachers, students, and CBSE. Today's topic is very, very important too. It's creating lesson plans as per NEP 2020, especially for maths. So today का focus सारे subjects नहीं होंगे. It's typically for maths, okay? And what you should expect out of this webinar is कि obviously it's lesson plans, right? So we'll discuss a little about NEP, what importance it holds. Then we'll slowly come to the concept of कि अभी recently NEP and ने क्या announce किया था, and when we prepare our lesson plans, we make our students practice what points we should consider and keep in mind for the same. And we'll discuss about what is lesson plan, the basic components of a lesson plan, and for maths what resources can you as a teacher refer to understand how to create lesson plans accordingly. And does CBSE introduced any resource or any template for a lesson plan, right? So I'll show you that as well. I'll share the link for that as well, don't worry. Various links with me today for you, for sharing with all of you, right? So you'll get loads of knowledge actually from today's webinar, because not only it focuses on your subject, that is mathematics, but from 4 to standard 10, I'll try to cater every teacher with the help of a template, with the help of a plan, okay? So don't worry, because I realized in my recent webinars that all classes need to be catered accordingly and not just standard 10. But yeah, standard 10 is something I take as a standardized class for everyone to understand that what is it and what not, okay? So it's yeah, it's 5:59, almost 6. So let's start with the webinar, everyone. Yeah. So good evening once again, and welcome to the webinar. I'll just check the chat box right now. Hi Prabhakar ji, welcome once again. I realize you from the previous webinars. Seema ji, I already talked. Rajeshwari ji, hi, good evening. Hi Vishaka ji, hi Sayed ji, hi everyone. Hi Venu ji, hi everyone. Hi, good evening. Welcome to the webinar. Hi Ashish ji. Hi Vishnupriya ji. I hope you all are doing well. All right. So I hope you heard the expectation settings or the basics I told in the beginning of the webinar. Okay. And now we'll move with the webinar ahead. ठीक है. तो टुडे के वेबिनार से आपको क्या एक्सपेक्ट करना चाहिए, ठीक है, वो मैंने ऑलरेडी बता दिया है इन द वेरी बिगनिंग, ठीक है. If somebody missed it, no worries. Obviously, the webinar is yet to be completed. So loads of things you will know again, in the next 1 hour. A small message from the homework app and team. You get participation certificate for every webinar you attend. So even this webinar is certified in nature. I will send the attendance link or the certificate link by 7, 5 or 10. I'll send you, okay? Because the ending time is 7:15 p.m. for the webinar. I'm making it very, very clear, teachers. It's a 1 hour, 15 minutes webinar. So 7:15 p.m. is the ending time. But agar usse jaldi I can, I'll send you the link, okay? Don't worry. And then the Smart Teacher Festival, it's basically an opportunity for you, to get a official Smart Teacher certificate from the side of the homework app and team, and earn rewards, which is worth rupees 2,000. So how to do that, what to do, we'll talk more about it during the end of the webinar. So just starting with, a little introduction of NEP 2020, and then we'll move slowly towards the lesson plan and the elements and mathematics, etc. Okay. So one step at a time. Okay. So take this webinar as, a staircase, and we'll climb one step at a time to reach the top. Okay. This is the most basic step. That is NEP 2020's introduction. And then we'll see the salient features, which I usually show whenever I discuss any topics of the NEP, because for me as a speaker, I feel I have to cater to all the teachers, individually. So if somebody doesn't know अच्छे से NEP 2020 के बारे में, as a speaker, it's my responsibility that they should know it before I move ahead with the nits and bits, of lesson plan. Okay, so in just 5 minutes, I'll wrap NEP 2020 and the salient features. Okay, so simply speaking, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who know, it will be a revision. So NEP 2020 stands for National Education Policy 2020, which the government of India introduced as a modification of the existing education policy, which was there in the 1980s. Okay, this policy was very important to be launched for very 3 to 4 basic reasons. The earlier policy of which was like 30-40 years old, obviously didn't cater to the skill sets, talents, knowledge the students of today require. The earlier policy didn't knew what exactly competent learning is, holistic development of personality is, how to develop students, how to cater to each and every student individually, and was more and more focused on books, 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 and yeah, books. That was all the focus of the old education policy. But if we see the new education policy, that is NEP 2020, government focuses so much on things like experiential learning. The last webinar I had on Monday with all of you was experiential learning. So experiential learning पे इतना ज़्यादा focus है कि when you teach a student, don't teach with the basic rote methods, कि book ले आए and then you give them the notes, tell them to jot down the notes by heart and then give the exam. That era is gone. Okay, we have to, if we have to produce students who are who are culturally equipped with all the skill sets and talents from India, and even if they're sent out of the country, they're able to present us, they're able to present the knowledge they have taken in a school to the other people. That is what education is. If right now I teach a student in chemistry acid plus base is equal to salt, and later on in real life when the time comes to apply their knowledge they're not able to do so, then there is no point of such education, right? So to be honest, you and I are very unlucky because we moved to this level, following the old education system. But students of today, they are very, very, very lucky, and they don't know how lucky they are because they are getting chance, to learn by experience, learn by doing things, learn by doing activity, group work, this, that, and the teachers are putting in so much effort for the same. So when you hear words like art integrated learning, storytelling, and experiential learning, sport integrated learning, integrating drama in classrooms, all these things which you hear in different webinars are actually something which is pushed by the NEP 2020. And since CBSE follows very closely and aligns very closely with the NEP 2020, it's very important to know, about these topics as well and how they exactly work in classrooms. Many of you might be even using many of the methods I just spoke about, right? So this is just a basic, NEP 2020 introduction. Salient features again, 2 minutes more to go and I'll wrap up NEP 2020 ka introduction. So NEP 2020 salient feature, if I have to say, let's say in one or two lines, I would just say that NEP 2020 has 5 pillars, as we see in the last slide. Key education should be equitable for all, affordable for all. It should be, holistic. It should contribute to students' learning. It should be, catering to students coming from different sections and different parts of the country. And everything should be in such a manner that education is a wholesome wholesome ball which is given which like revolves around all these students in the country. And then obviously there are so many reformations. If you see right now, pedagogical structure, agar we will see the pedagogical structure, the way teachers teach, the techniques they are using, they're so different than the old times. Even you as a teacher might have noticed a difference in your teaching style 2-3 years back and now. So that is the kind of difference, the NEP 2020 has brought in the schools. Moreover, the government will change and revise the policy every 10 years, which will cater to the needs of the economy at present, what the students need to do, what kind of skills are needed to sustain themselves in the global economy. Because it's very, very important that students of today know how to, maintain themselves, how to adjust themselves among different people of different cultures and different sections of the society. So when you as a person, let's say, go to Russia, the Russian culture is very, very different from the Indian culture. Though Hinduism is a very fast growing religion, let's say, or culture in Russia, still the Russian origin, of people think in a very different manner. They live life in a very different manner. If you compare people from the US and UK, that is America and Britain side of people, even their dressing sense, the way they talk is so different. When you go to UK, that is, more of a London, United Kingdom side, you will hear people talking like, hey mate, what's up, and but, and words like this when they address you. Whereas when you go to the American side, you will more hear words like very casual words, hey dude, bro and pal, and these kind of words are mostly used. So as students, you should have the knowledge of each and everything. And one of the very narrowed down importance of the same is the multilingualism. So multilingualism and the power of language is also introduced for the very same reason, that a student should know more than one language, because not only it develops them cognitively, but also it helps them to sustain, outside India. Why limit yourself just inside India when you have to prepare yourself for the world? Okay, so a wholesome view has been given to education by this particular policy, with loads of things introduced into it. If you want to watch more about the NEP 2020 and kaise kaise ye implement hua hai, I have had webinars before, so you can just go to the YouTube channel of the homework app and you can watch the recordings there. Okay, so that was just a very quick, wrap up of the NEP 2020 introduction and the salient features of it. Okay. So I hope teachers my tone and voice, and I'm not going very very fast. So if I'm going very very fast, just tell me that you are going. I'm going very fast, and I'll just like slow down my pace. So is it okay? My pace, is it very fast or is it okay? Hi everyone. Good evening. So many good evenings right now. It's so great to see all of you. Okay. Yeah, okay, okay, fine. Thanks, Sheetal ji. Thanks, Deepa ji. Pleasure. Thank you for the response. Okay. So NEP 2020 had a May announcement in very short. In May 2022, okay, teachers, NEP took out an announcement that for standard 9 and 10 and 11th and 12th, boards may, okay, in boards, there will be around 10% increment in the competency based questions. Okay. So just telling you this announcement because when you prepare your lesson plans, for maths or any other subject, just know that you have to make your students practice more and more of competency based questions, because the weightage is very very high, and competency based questions can come in any form: value based, MCQs, source based, case study based. And where to get the access of it? So the homework app is there. It's completely free of cost. They don't even charge, I think, a penny for using the application. So many teachers, I think, are using it, and those of you who are not, do use the homework app. I'll also show you during the end how can you access the books and all, so that will give you an idea as well. So the one thing which you can use for accessing the questions and making your students practice more is that. So there was an announcement. And why is it important? Because when you prepare the lesson plan, you should know how many types of what kind of questions you have to give your students to prepare them for the future. Okay. Now just going very quickly over the meaning of different question types. Why I am doing this before going to the lesson plan is because when you prepare your lesson plan, you have to make your students practice as well, right? And when you make them practice, you have to make them practice with the kind of questions the board tells you will come in the examination. Okay, so practice is also a part of your lesson plan, and if you don't know what you have to give for practice, there's no point then. So that is why I'm discussing all these things in very short and crisp manner. And by 6:20 p.m. I'll wrap up all the introductions, okay, taki you have a basic idea that what we are discussing, why we are discussing. Okay, and then we'll quickly move to the lesson plan in detail for mathematics. All right, so meaning of different question types. MCQs kya hoga? Multiple choice, wherein you have 4 to 5 options. One is the correct answer. Okay, so students have to tick mark that among a plethora of options which are given to them. Okay, the question and example is given on the screen. Next type you can see subjective and objective in very very simple words. Okay, if I ask you, does the earth revolves around the sun? Okay, if I ask you this question itself has only one answer in the entire world, right? And it is a very objective answer. That means the student can't change the answer if they want to with their own logic. So ये क्या हो गया? Objective questions होते हैं which have their own answers. They have their answers in the book or the textbooks you refer, and one can't change the meaning of it. Subjective questions are questions like, what do you think is the context of the passage? What do you think is the moral given by the passage? So these kind of questions wherein students get the opportunity to present their views, their ideas, and their logic are basically subjective types. So every student might have a different perspective. Okay, so these are objective and subjective type of questions. Now coming to assertion and reasoning. So first I want to show you the example here. Can you see this blue circle which I am revolving? Assertion, reason ke around. Just see the example. Assertion is food cans are coated with tin, not zinc. What is the reason? Zinc is more reactive than tin. So just giving you a basic example for understanding what is the assertion type question. There is an assertion. Any general statement, okay, you make, let's say you give them a formula. So when you say that, a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus dash. Okay, so any I'm just giving an example. Okay, so any assertion is any statement which you make and then students have to write the reason of it, that why is the statement correct, or why is the statement false. You have to write their own reason. So when I say ki food cans are coated with tin and not zinc, then why food cans are coated with tin and not zinc? Like, why not zinc exactly? So reason is zinc is more reactive than tin, and to protect the food cans from corrosion and erosion, we coat it with tin, which is a more stable alloy than zinc. Okay, so this type of questions are assertion and reasoning, can also be presented in the MCQ format. Okay, source based questions, any question which you give directly from your textbook, from your source of study, from the materials you provide to students, is a source based question. So students know ki I have studied this and this was referred previously and the questions have come directly from there. So source based questions are those kind of questions. So, very sorry. So particularly in history and civics, if we see, usually questions like this come, note down the characteristics or the elements of the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, ki itne members hai, itne people hai, this is the term, this is when the meetings happen, quorum ka size kya hai, etc. Right? So all these kind of questions wherein you have to jot down your points directly from the book, which what is given to you, or from the notes what is given to you, are the source based questions. Okay. Okay, this we already discussed. So these were all the different types of questions what we discussed till now, which preferably the CBSE board talks about. Okay, now higher weightage on competency based questions from now on. So as I said, May 2022, there was a circular released by CBSE in which they very well focused on the increment in the competency based questions, and which was around 10%. Okay, so you can see here, कि यहाँ 30% weightage था for class 9 and 10. This is the old model, model 21-22, and this is a new model, model 22-23. So old model में अगर हम देखें 30% weightage था, I think 30% was there for competency. Now minimum 40% weightage is given to competency based question. Okay, and if we see the model for 11th and 12th also, 20% was the competency based questions earlier. Now minimum 30% competency based questions will come. So when you make your lesson plan and when you give your students practice questions, know, as a teacher, we should know which kind of questions are the most important to cater to my students, because that is what they will see in the boards. And if they don't practice from now on, how will they solve in boards? It's not possible, right? So very, very important to understand the circulars which are released by CBSE and how the change has been done. Okay? All right. So we have covered up the entire gist in just 15 minutes right now. And we discussed a lot of things actually. We discussed a little about NEP 2020, the basics, the vision, the salient features. We discussed about what announcement did CBSE made and why is it important. And we also discussed about, various types of questions, and what is the meaning of them, right? Now I know it's a lot of content, in just 15 minutes, which I cover, but I wanted to take more time for the lesson plan on which the webinar is focused. So that is why I kept the content very short, and this part will be like very slow, detail. Okay. Also, I want to ask all of you now just a basic conversation, because I don't want to bore all of you and go to sleep. So tell me कि आज कितने लोगों का आज कौन सा दिन है? Wednesday. Okay. How was the day for all of you is my first question. If it's tough, just write T. If it was like mediocre, easy, medium type, just write M. If it was like very easy and comfy, just write E. So tough, medium, easy. How was the day? Shraddha ji says medium. That's great. Actually, medium days are kind of good. Easy days just kind of bore you. So yeah. What about other teachers? Are you sleepy, or you have just slept, or you are awake? Medium. Okay. It's beautiful. Okay, that's a very good response. Okay. Super, Vishaka ji. Okay, that's perfect. Medium is whoa, that's nice. Good. Okay, good. Medium. Okay, medium. Okay. So not very hectic for anybody, right? It was like ठीक है अच्छा ही है. It was kind of like that day. Okay. Hey, pretty good to hear all the responses, teachers. Mostly, even listening to you, I am feeling good right now. Good day. It gives good vibes. That's nice. Okay, tell me the second question. Did you thrash a student today or not? Or the day was, good and lucky and you didn't, at least thrash the student today? Because kabhi na kabhi to thrash kiya hi hoga na, smooth day. Okay. So any student who got thrashed by you today? Just say yes or no. Thanks, Virendra ji. Yes, okay. I'm interested in the yes. Raj Kanya ji says yes. Okay, someone was on the nerve then. Oh, that's really great, Shraddha ji. Holidays now. Okay, no, no, no. Mostly no's. Okay, teachers are so cool nowadays. I remember my school days, when my teachers were there, we had this one teacher. Okay, I'm from Jamshedpur, so I don't know if anybody of you are from Jamshedpur. I've studied in DBMS English school. So when I was in my school, it was like the top two in the city, DBMS. And at that time, there was this one professor of mine in a school called Niladri sir. I still remember Niladri sir. So he was an English teacher. Okay, and Niladri sir, he was like the strictest teacher we have in the entire school. And why, I'm gonna tell you. So I was in standard 9, yeah, 9 and 10. He took our English for 9 and 10. Excellent teaching. Let me tell you this first. He was like the best teacher for English you can get, but also the strictest teacher you can ever come across. Even if you do a chew or cha in his class, and if you make a little noise, you know what he will tell you? He'll tell you to stand up first. Okay, fine, I'll stand up. Then he'll tell you, no, 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 not stand up on the floor, stand up on the bench. So I have done this because I know 2 times I've done this in class. I used to stand up on the bench then in front of the entire class, and it was a co-ed school, not a girls' school. Stand up on the bench. I used to stand up on the bench, and then he used to tell ki suck your thumb. This was like the punishment he used to give. Suck your thumb in front of everyone for 5 minutes and stand like that. And if you don't show him the licked thumb with the saliva, saliva there, you are done. You are done with your day. You are done with the week. And everybody was so scared in this class. But yeah, one thing I would say that, English was like, wow, nobody could teach English like Niladri sir is what I know in my life right now. But this was the days, there. And I licked like 2 times and I was so embarrassed. I was on the verge of crying. So yeah, I think nowadays teachers are kind of chill. So it's pretty good to hear that. I think even you all might have, loads of tales like this yourself, but yeah, it's good to remember sometimes. All right. So, okay. I hope just some, if anybody wants to share any instance, please drop in the chat box. I'll just move ahead with the topic. I'm doing this because I just wanted to feel at ease ki it's not like webinar hai to 1 ghante sunna hi hai. We can have fun conversations as well. Okay, so just drop in the chat box any instance you want to share. We'll have fun. And till then, I'm just moving ahead with the webinar. Okay. Okay. So till no fun instances are dropped in the chat box, I'll just move ahead. Okay. So lesson plans as per NEP 2020. Okay. So first we will see ki 8 elements of basic lesson plan kya hote hai. Okay. So lesson plan kya hota hai exactly in very simple terms. You have a curriculum, right? You have to understand this very well now. You have a curriculum. Okay. Curriculum is like your big circle. Just remember it like a figure. Curriculum is like the big circle, A. उस big circle के अंदर में there are various chapters, right? So there's a curriculum plan, like the yearly plan, and then there's a chapter wise plan or the unit wise plan, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. So curriculum planning के बाद आता है unit plans. फिर unit plans के अंदर आता है different lessons, and that is your lesson plan. So beware, okay? Beware when I say lesson plan. I don't mean curriculum planning. Lesson planning is planning an individual lesson which you will teach to the students. Planning an individual chapter. That is your lesson plan. So it's important to understand that curriculum planning, unit planning, and lesson planning are very 3 different terms. Okay, so 8 elements of the lesson plan, the very basics, which is relevant to all the subjects and all the teachers, not only mathematics, we'll see right now. Okay, I'll just see the chat box. Hindi course A. Amita ji, okay, to all the teachers, this webinar is crucially for mathematics. You can hear out the basics, but we'll discuss only about mathematics lesson plan here. So if you want the other subjects, you have to wait for our, subsequent webinars, because this webinar just focuses on mathematics. Okay. All right. So 8 elements of a lesson plan is, grade level and subject level is the first thing. Very basic, very self-explanatory. Okay, you all know this already, but just to revise it. Har ek lesson plan mein, so whenever you prepare that A4 size sheet or a lesson plan on computer or anywhere, some things you need to disclose on it to make it very clear, to make it very relevant for the others. It's grade level and subject level. So the first thing is कि आप कौन से grade को teach कर रहे हैं, कौन से subject को teach कर रहे हैं. So let's say I am a 9th standard mathematics teacher. So I have to write that very clearly on my lesson plan. Next is the type of lesson. Obviously, if I'm preparing a lesson plan, I have to write, right, ki which unit the lesson belongs to, which type of lesson it is. Okay, so type of lesson, the objectives of it, the outcomes of it, all these needs to be disclosed in the lesson plan to make it very clear for the third person to read. Okay, then duration. This is like, I keep on repeating this, but duration is like the most important point, I think, in the entire lesson plan. Okay, now why duration is like the most important point in the entire lesson plan? Let me tell you. Okay, duration is very, very important because as a teacher, okay, as a teacher, you should always bound yourself, with time. So as the popular saying goes by the entrepreneur Elon Musk, who is like very, very famous right now in the world and was recently in talks of buying Twitter, if you know, he said one thing, that the reason for his success is, if you give 3 days, if you give 3 days to you to do a particular work, you will do in 3 days. If the same work and you give the time to yourself as 3 hours, you will be able to do the work in 3 hours. So you are the one who have to bound yourself with time. Okay, I know the CBSE, the board suggests certain kind of periods and certain kinds of hours that you have to take this many hours to teach it. But if you have planned your lessons well, if you know that I have planned my lessons well, and per class I'll exactly need this much amount of time. Okay, and if you plan yourself along with time, okay, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, if you plan like this, you will have a kind of estimation in mind कि more than 8 hours तो anyhow इस chapter में नहीं लगने वाला है. That is very, very important, and moreover it will help you to complete your syllabus in time. So after you have all the unit plans and all the number of total hours, just contribute division of those hours to each of the lessons you are going to teach to the students. That's very, very important. Okay, then comes topic. So obviously topic is again a very, very essential component of a lesson plan. If I state the chapter as, let's say, heredity and evolution, which is a 10th standard biology chapter, or I state the chapter as a letter to God, which is an English lit 10th standard chapter, or I state the chapters as maths ka koi chapter, कि 10th standard में quadratic equations, linear equations, time and work, and all these chapters are there, right? So if I state any of the chapters, I have to even state the topic. So for example, probability here. Maths में when you talk about probability में we have so many sub concepts, right? There is union, there is I forgot. There is union, there is intersection, and there are subsets, and there is set theory, and then there is Bayes theorem, and then there's so many things, application of Bayes theorem. So what are these? These are subsequent topics inside your lesson plan. And mentioning these topics will actually make it more clearer for the person who is seeing it, reading it, and for you as well when you teach the students, right? So agar you prepare a lesson plan which has all the basic components and provide the utmost clarity, you can actually share it with your students as well. Ki this is the lesson plan, I'm pinning it in the class, you will know what I'm going to teach next and how the lesson will go. So even if you want to prepare, before the classes, you can prepare yourself and come so that you have an ease in understanding the concepts the next class. So that is very, very important. And one thing, it's not mentioned here, but I suggest from my perspective and from my experiences as a teacher, develop the habit of sharing your lesson plans with your students. Okay, I'm not telling you have to take out 40-50 copies and share. No, just take out one copy, stick it in the classroom. This is my lesson plan for this particular chapter. 2 weeks may we are going to complete it. So because it gives the student also a kind of seriousness that okay, these are the number of hours these lessons will go, and if I don't pay attention in class, I won't be able to understand later because the next lesson will start. And then plan a doubt session at the end. Okay, these are the number of hours for the lesson, these 2-3 hours for doubt session, and all the other mechanisms I'll discuss during the end, not right now because it will be very, very confusing. So that is again there. So the basic components like topic, type of lesson, all these things you have to mention. Then objective. If you are teaching probability to students, what can be your objective behind it? Because without any objective, without any vision, teaching anything is just waste of time. So you have to state ki why, what is my objective and why I am teaching this to my students. Okay. One very good example of this, I'll just take probability only because it is at the top of my mind right now. So you know that probability has many real life, uses. Especially I have said this in my previous webinars as well. Games like poker, okay, or the other games, which are probably very famous in gambling. Probability is the thing, which makes people win. The better you are at probability, the better you are, mentally at calculating it, the better you are at these games. And the people who have become rich by these games are the people who understand the soul of probability, which you and I so far, I think we are not capable of, right? So objective is very important, that why it is important, what is the real life implication, how it will help the students, how they can apply the concepts when they later move ahead in life. So it's very important to understand that. Okay. And then the materials, right? So again, in the lesson plan, you should always mention what materials you are using, whether you're using a research paper, a journal, an article, any reliable sources from YouTube, or maybe from any news journals or channels, any blogs, any books, any particular authors, and why. So that is very important to justify, okay, your materials, your sources for teaching. And then the directions. See, let me tell you this, lesson plan can be prepared in 2 to 3 ways. Okay. The first way is you just write the topics, keep this and the number of hours you're going to take. Now that is a very basic lesson plan. If you want to make a very detail oriented lesson plan, some teachers do follow this, wherein what they do, let's say I take the chapter of probability. Okay, since we are discussing about it, let's take probability only, or quadratic equations, linear equation, whatever chapter. Okay, so agar probability is my chapter right now, it's my lesson name. Okay, my topic name can be Bayes theorem. Now under Bayes theorem, if I have 5 things to teach, and I know in this 5 things I will require at least 3 classes per unit to make students understand how Bayes theorem works, all the different type of sums which are there, right? So what will I do? To make a detailed lesson plan, rather than just stating the 5 subunits under Bayes theorem, I'll also state कि unit number A जो कि Bayes theorem के अंदर है, उसमें ये 5 topics है, and these 5 topics I'm gonna make the students solve 5 sums each to get accustomed to the concept. Okay, and to assure them that if you solve this 5 questions from all of these things, nothing will come more other than this in the examination. So be prepared with at least these 25 questions overall. Okay, and then you will also state the materials you are using for the same, the number of hours you will use for each and every question, each and every sum. That is kind of a very detailed lesson plan. So directions का meaning क्या है यहाँ पर? You give directions, you give very detailed orientation of your lesson plan. So if my class is of 40 minutes, so I will state in my lesson plan, I need 10 hours or 10 classes. First class, 40 minutes. 40 minutes segregated into again 10. First 10 minutes, introduction. Next 10 minutes, maybe YouTube or any other, interactive experiential learning. The next 10 minutes, some practice. The next 10 minutes, feedback, revision, and homework. So this is kind of a very detailed lesson plan, jahan par not only you are telling about the lesson, but actually each and every hour what you will do minute by minute you are stating. The first 10 minutes I'll do this, next 5 minutes this, next 15 minutes this, last 10 minutes this. That is very important. Okay, so you can make a very detailed lesson plan, but you need to work a lot on the same. But I feel once you make it, you can just revise it a little, on an yearly basis, and it can be helpful to many students who are to come ahead. Okay, and then the last is assessment. Okay, so 8 components of a lesson plan. What we discussed till now, we discussed grade level, subject level, which you have to state in a lesson plan. We discussed type of lesson, you have to state in a lesson plan. Duration, that is the time, how much hours, how many minutes you are taking to complete each unit, chapter, lesson, you have to state that. Topic, very important. Topic ही नहीं बताओगे तो पता कैसे चलेगा what we are trying to teach the students. Okay, then objective, very important. Nothing without objective can be taught, it's not possible. Okay, then something else which you need to state in the lesson plan is, just a minute, my laptop is hanging. Yeah. Yeah, materials. Okay, so materials, you have to state what sources, what journals, articles, websites, YouTube videos or blogs you are using for the same. Directions, as we just discussed, very detail oriented lesson plan, in what direction you are going, in which way you will teach the students, when you will teach the students, what everything you have to state very clearly. And then the last is assessment. So at the end of each level, obviously assessment is very, very important, right? So from my perspective, I have various ideas for you. My first idea would be a very, very good method of assessment is कि every class, okay, every class you teach a limited number of sums. It's not important that you teach, 10 sums of the same kind. You teach two sums and two sums and two sums of the same kind. In a day, even if you make the students solve 10 sums, let's say from base theorem, and the 10 sums contain five different types, at the end, the students have already learned five different types of sums. At the most, what they have to do is learn 10 more different type of sums, because कि उससे आगे कुछ नहीं आने वाला है. इतने ही type के sums possible है in this particular chapter. Only the words will be different. Baki the variables and the number of units given will be more or less the same. And this formula will apply there. Okay, so one thing I always tell everyone, since I myself teachers have prepared for many of the competitive examinations, I can tell you this from experience. As in mathematics especially, which is a very, very important section in competitive exams like snap or let's say CAT, SAT or other examinations which I have prepared and given, I can tell you that you don't have to study the entire chapter or make students study the entire chapter. If you want to make them practice, give them questions, but just make a document of, let's say, 30 questions from each chapter. After solving 30 questions of different types, there is no 31st question which can come from this chapter. So if the students are well versed with those 30 questions, they can solve any question which can come from that chapter in the entire world. That is a kind of practice, I think, which should be done in mathematics, because books are very, very big. They are very, very thick, and completing the book might feel good, but many students, even after solving tons of book, are not able to perform, because they're not able to understand when some questions pops up in the examination. So when you assess the students, assess on these basis ki kitne types ke question you are clear with, what kind of questions you're not clear with, and that will only be understood by them when you give them that kind of questions, right? They can mark it up, okay, this is something I am not understanding, so I need someone to explain to me, and that you can clear it in the doubt session. Okay, another very good way of assessing is giving the feedback form. I always tell, make a Google form, make just one, sit 5 minutes, make a Google form with 5 basic questions. And what can be the questions? How was today's class? Do you want me to change my teaching style? Was it okay for you? Was it apt for you? I'm not able to understand anything which I am teaching. Which concepts you want me to revise? Give them bullet points and you can select just one. And after that, you can just see the responses and analyze, okay, where is what lagging? Which students need the most attention in which part I need to revise again. Okay, and ask them in the feedback form, do you want 5 questions each on a daily basis to prepare and to revise? If you do this, you won't even need tuition classes, etc., after you go from the school. That effective should be your class, and it can all be integrated into your lesson plan in one way or the other. So these are just some things which I would say are very, very good for assessing the students. Assessment is not always about the marks they get, but also about the understanding they have on a concept. That is, I think, that should be the basis of assessment, initially at least. Okay. Yeah, so that was like the 8 basic components which you should culminate or integrate in a lesson plan. Okay, that is very, very, very important. Okay, what chat is going on in the chat box? It's very good app to use. Children joining me. Definitely, Vinitaji. Thank you, Amitaji. Vinitaji, thanks, Vinitaji. Pleasure to see you here again, ma'am. All right. So, ये कुछ ideas थे assessment के, but if you want more ideas, I can actually think of more right now also. Assessment के लिए Google Forms is there, as I told you, and how you can distribute these Google Forms. Let's say if you're teaching quadratic equations, let's say first part, okay, quadratic equations we all know there are like 2 parts in the school level, right? एक में होते हैं जो variables and sums होते हैं, and then the other is the word problems on the same, which you have to figure out the equation on your own and solve, right? So when you teach these chapters to a student, rather than making them solve like everything, just pick out the questions which are different in nature. So I see, you and I, if I am teaching this webinar, I know ki mathematics mein I have studied like most of the things on a very competitive level as well. When you are teaching in a school, you know that you have studied more. You being a teacher, you have the experience, you have the study experience and knowledge which nobody has, not even me. I would say that. Okay. So as per our knowledge, why not teach with strategy is what I feel. Everybody can teach the whole book, everybody can solve the whole book, but if you teach with strategy, I think it will save your time, it will make the students smarter. If they're facing problem in a particular question, make them solve those kind of questions with different numbers, or with different names at least 5 to 10 times, and they will understand that okay, if these kind of question comes, kuch bhi ho jaye, I know time, work and speed say, ya fir let's say speed, distance, time, or quadratic equation, linear equation, or real numbers, whatever chapters are there, I'm going to do it because I know I've prepared on that level, my school teaches me on that level. So strategy is very important when you teach a chapter. It will save your time for each lesson as well. If you take, let's say, 20 hours to teach a particular topic, if you teach with strategy, if you make your own notes and then teach the students, you can teach it in just, I think, 10 to 11 hours. It's possible. It's completely possible. I have done it previously. I have seen teachers to do it previously. So yeah, that is there. And then smart objectives, of a lesson plan. So we all know कि smart objective तो एक बहुत ही पुराना term है, everybody mostly knows about it, लेकिन उसका मतलब क्या होता है? हर एक lesson plan, okay, भले वो mathematics का हो या कोई भी subject का हो, every lesson plan should have this 5 components in them. It should be specific in nature, very detailed, very, very specific, very particular in details. It should not be confusing, ambiguous. It should be measurable in nature. So the kind of time durations you give, the kind of hours you allot to yourself, the periods you give, the number of sums you make, all these should be measurable in nature. So you can't just state ki we'll solve sums. Arey, okay, fine, you will solve some, but how many sums in each class? And what are the students gaining if you're giving them those 5 sums? Are they learning just one type, or those 5 sums are actually so good that they're learning 5 different types? So it should be measurable in nature. It should be relevant as well. Okay. Then attainable, the A of smart. Attainable क्या हो गया? Obviously, you can't state कि I'll teach the entire chapter of probability in just 5 hours because we know that's not possible. For a student, 5 hours तो खाली subject को समझने में ही लग जाएगा lesson को for the first time. So it should be attainable in nature. You should state at least a relevant number of hours कि हाँ, logically, rationally, for a student to understand and for a teacher to teach this concept, this many hours is like attainable. Okay, it's feasible in nature. And then the last is time bound. As I told you, time foundation is very, very important. Everything has to be guided by time, which plays a very major role in lesson plan, especially. You move 1 or 2 hours, up and down, as a teacher more than me. You're teaching right now in different schools at how much problem, you face to complete the syllabus then, because it's a very, very tight schedule, right? So if you want to complete the schedule on time, with the utmost effectivity, teach by strategy is all I have to say. That is very, very important. All right. Anyway, we discussed mostly the basics of everything, and it's 6:40 p.m., 25 minutes more to go. Till 7:05 p.m. Now we'll see aram se कि कैसे maths के लिए lesson plan create कर सकते हैं, what is the template for it, what CBSE has said about it, and why it is important to remember the smart objectives, the 8 basic elements, because that is how you create it. And now the same can be created on Excel sheet, Google spreadsheet, which are very, very high-tech tools for creating the same, very, very good tools. Preferably, you can too, or the simple Word document if you want to prefer the same, or you can just do it on a pen and a paper, get the printout, maybe stick it in the classroom, whatever method you prefer. But I think mostly you should do it, using Microsoft 365, because that's a better option. Okay. Okay. Before we move ahead to the lesson plan, per se, we'll just see key maths 10th class. So I'm just taking an example for one class, okay? Because I can't show the syllabus to you for all the classes, but I will show you the lesson plans for all the classes, okay? So don't worry. Standard 4 say I will show you, okay? So syllabus for standard 10 mathematics, just for a example, I'm showing you that when you prepare a lesson plan, what should be your initial steps? So the first thing to do is, if you are a maths teacher belonging to any class, okay? Any class between, let's say, 1 to 10 or 1 to 12, the first step is go to the CBSE website, see the syllabus, see what CBSE has released for this year. And based on that, what the CBSE wants, what is the ask of the board, you have to prepare your questions. So class 10th ka I researched, and just to simplify it, I wrote it here. This is for standard 10. Okay, so you can see 7 units are there. Okay, 7 units are there from number systems to statistics and probability, and then marks allotted to each unit. You can see, in the right level. Okay, and then the total is 80. That is 80 marks. 20 is internal assessment. Okay, so this is for standard 10. Just to simplify it, I put my own table here. All right, now I have to show you the link. So I'm just gonna stop sharing my PPT. I have to show you links as well. Just give me 1 second. Links are here only. Yeah. So the first link I want to show you is the CBSE syllabus. Okay, CBSE syllabus, not this. Yeah, it's this. Okay, as you can see, this is the CBSE का original, let's say, announcement या original syllabus, which is there in the CBSE website. You can check it here. The link cbseacademicnic.in. You can see I'm highlighting the link above. From the CBSE website, syllabus क्या है? Maths के लिए 22-23 session. इसमें 9 and 10 दोनों है. ठीक है, तो I'll just share this link first. All the 9 and 10 teachers, I have found the link for you. Other teachers can easily find it in the CBSE website. Okay, I'm just taking an example of class 10 so that everybody of you understand what are the initial steps. Okay, this particular curriculum consists of 9 and 10. Clearly, CBSE has stated beautifully how many units, how many marks, everything, how many periods, ideally you should allot to each. Number systems, algebra, subtopics within algebra. You can see here, unit 2 algebra hai, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4. And there are 4 subtopics within algebra. There's coordinate geometry. Unit 4 is geometry, जिसमें की triangles hai, circles hai, and yeah. And then we have trigonometry. Okay, so all the subtopics, the units, etc. are mentioned here. Now, this will give you a basic gist when you are preparing a lesson plan for which unit you are preparing. So, as I told you, 8 important components. State the unit name, state the chapter name, which is real numbers, and then you can see so many concepts are there inside of each chapter. State those individually and then bifurcate them also into small units. That how much you will cover in one class, how much you will cover in the next class, how many hours, how many periods you need. Make it clear and make it very crisp. Okay. So this is there. This is for 9 and 10, the CBSE syllabus for mathematics. I've shared the link in the chat box. You all can save it. And PPT kahan hai mera? Haan, ye raha. Okay. Show this. Yeah. Now, just for your reference, okay. So link for reference, CBSE का. ठीक है, CBSE ने अपना भी, so CBSE has released a lesson plan just to give teachers an example how they can prepare one and how effectively they can prepare. So here is the link for the same. No, not this. This is the, yeah, this one. I'll share the link for this also. Teachers, this is the most important link. Please इसको copy paste कर लीजिए कहीं पर. It is the CBSE links. Okay, you can see ऊपर में the sources, they are all CBSEs. If you haven't found it, please अभी इसको note कर लीजिए. ठीक है, lesson plan mathematics के लिए you can see the template, and I'll show you from which class to which class it is. It is there on top. All right, so when you open the circular, you will see 41 pages ka hai ye total. Okay, this particular lesson plan template is a total of 41 pages, and CBSE had affiliated, and it has taken international consideration in the same as well. So you can see British Council ka logo yahan par, and then you can see ki how it is using it. Okay, this is September 2021. The release date for it is September 2021, but it is a template, so you still can use it. Okay. Now you can see content कैसे दिया हुआ है. This particular template circular will show you from class 6. So standard 6 maths से लेके standard 10 maths का एक chapters का सबका example दिया हुआ है. They have used one chapters to show you how the lesson plans can be created. So all the standard 6 to standard 10 teachers you can use. Usha ji, this particular webinar is just for mathematics. It's clearly mentioned in the brochure as well. So thank you so much for joining. But yeah, I have to say that, this is just for mathematics, this particular webinar. Okay. So you can see this particular link. This is from standard 6 maths to standard 10 maths lesson plan. Okay, they have given you a basic template how to prepare. Okay, प्लीज इसको नोट कर लीजिए, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आई विल शो यू सम ऑल्सो. ठीक है, कि कैसे उन्होंने प्रिपेयर किया टेम्पलेट्स. नाउ यू कैन सी लोएस्ट कॉमन मल्टीपल. ओके, लोएस्ट कॉमन मल्टीपल इज द चैप्टर. Learning ladder assessment content, you can see the notes here. Learn lesson duration is 40 minutes, and then book reference is mathematics textbook for class 6 chapter 3. ओके, एंड यू कैन सी कैसे बाइफोकेट किया है, टाइम कितना है, लर्निंग आउटकम्स क्या है, लेसन एक्टिविटीज क्या है, असेसमेंट क्या है. दैट इज हाउ क्लियरली दे हैव मेड इट. यू कैन सी लाइक दिस. ओके, एंड की कंपिटेंसीज क्या है, कम्युनिकेशन, कोलैबोरेशन. फ्रॉम सी from my perspective, two more things should be added here, which is not here in the circular or template. These all are like fine, but add on, ठीक है, इसमें add कीजिए assessments में, ठीक है, feedback loops and everything which can work for you, and also add on the outcomes or outputs of the chapter. कि what outputs you are expecting the students to show, and what do you do for testing those competencies and outputs which the students will develop after learning LCM. Okay, so that is very, very important to show the outputs and objectives as well. So this is for class 6. There are this class 7, 8, 9, 10, everything. So since I already showed for, I think, the class 6, I'll show you for standard 7. Yeah, here. Line symmetry. Line symmetry is there. You can see the chapter is here. Class 7 hai, chapter 14 hai. You can see resources here. Now see how many resources they have used here. Can you see this? How many resources are mentioned? That is how you have to mention your materials or resources as well. Okay, and then time, learning outcomes, lesson activities, assessment, the same way they have prepared it all. Key competencies या outputs क्या होना चाहिए, ये collaboration, communication, learning to learn, critical thinking, etc. Okay, though the output should be more detailed in my perspective. And then mean, median, mode, class 8 के लिए you can see the same way. Class 6, 7, 8, all the classes. Just chapters will be different, but lesson plan will be the same. You can go through it. Once you go through it, you will understand better कैसे prepare किया हुआ है क्या. You can simplify it. What I'll say is, this is just a template. Teachers, this is just a template. You can always prepare your own lesson plans with the best of strategy to ensure the maximum output and efficiency. Okay. So bar graphs and histograms, again, class 9, chapter 14, you can see here. Same thing, same way से prepare किया हुआ है पूरा. ठीक है. So this is just one link, I wanted to show you, for that is link for references CBSE ka. And then there is another link. How many of you are from Kendra Vidyalaya today? Prabhakar ji, I'm sorry, this webinar focuses on mathematics precisely. So yeah, I can't really, Sujita ji, yesterday we didn't had any webinar. If it was there, I was not the speaker. And if there's any queries for teachers related to certificates or anything, please read the support section of the homework app, because I'm just a speaker. So even if I want to help you, I can't, because I'm just a speaker. So I really can't let's say interfere in the internal proceedings. So if you have any problem, you can read the support section of the homework app. Also, attendance link I already told you in the beginning of the webinar, all the teachers, 7:15 p.m. is the end time for the webinar. So we still have good 25 minutes to go ahead. Okay, so please be patient and enjoy the webinar till then. Now, I wanted to ask one more thing to all of you. How many of you have heard Kendra Vidyalaya? Or how many of you are from Kendra Vidyalaya today? Answer both the questions. Any responses, teachers? I think maybe my internet is slow or something. Maybe it's taking time. So nobody is from Kendra Vidyalaya today, and nobody has heard of Kendra Vidyalaya. Okay, Binta ji, Pratima ji says no. Binta ji says we have heard. No, not Kendra Vidyalaya. Okay, Seema ji, yes, yes. Yeah, KV worksheet. Okay, heard of KV. All right, all right. Since you have heard of Kendra Vidyalaya, oh, that's great, Binduji. That's great. Okay, so since you all have heard about Kendra Vidyalaya, and Binduji especially has studied in Kendra Vidyalaya, you all know it's a reliable name and it's a reliable place to see for some resources, right? We all know that right now. Ki if we, oh, that's great, Sandhya ji. That's great. So you people will be able to relate more and more. Okay. That's great. So most of you have heard about KV. Most of you know KV has branches all over India. Pan India presence hai KV ka. And then most of you might also know ki since KV is a school and so many people have heard about it from different places and different schools, it has to be a reliable source, right? Sindhuji, again, okay, too many alumni of KV today. It will be fun. I have one website here, yeah, of Kendra Vidyalaya actually. So it's a KV resource site, okay? केंद्र विद्यालय के खुद की रिसोर्स साइट है जहां पर यू कैन सी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटर्स कौन कौन है, रिसोर्स पर्सन ऑफ बोथ द केवीज, teachers of KV Bangalore and teachers of KV Janakpur in New Delhi. Okay, and you can see there are so many resources which are uploaded. Okay, so let's say मेरे को मैथमेटिक्स के लिए देखना है, ठीक है, मैथमेटिक्स के लिए you can see these 5 classes are there. Okay, so let's say I'll go to class 4. Okay, you can see for class 4 also teachers have contributed pata their own materials, their own lesson plans, etc. here, right here you can see here. Okay, let's say you want to look for mathematics standard 8, ठीक है, लेसन प्लान्स भी है इसमें, क्विजेस भी मिल जाएंगे, कुछ मटेरियल्स भी मिल जाएंगे आपको, एंड ये केवी के है, सो व्हाई नॉट रेफर व्हाट अदर टीचर्स आर यूजिंग एज वेल, राइट? होलसम, सी लीनियर इक्वेशंस का यहाँ पर there's an entire worksheet one teacher has uploaded, rational numbers का you can see there's an entire worksheet which is uploaded, linear equations 2 का again worksheet है यहाँ पर, this quadrilaterals के ऊपर worksheet is there नीचे में, lesson plan है यहाँ पर, linear equation, rational numbers, and यहाँ पर all these can be used by you, right? So for 4 to standard 8 teachers, mathematics standard 4 to 8, here is the link for you. A good source to refer. If you want to refer, again, you are always free to make changes, but there's no harm in reference. Know everything, do what you feel like is right, is the simple principle. So this is KV link for standard 4 to standard 8. Yep. So I've already shared you the template for standard 6 to 10. I've already shared you the entire lesson plan ka link fully from standard 4 to standard 8 from reliable sites, CBSE and Kendra Vidyalaya. Okay, that is one another thing I wanted to show you. Let's check for mathematics standard 6 also ek bar. Okay, yeah, you can see here. You can find worksheets and everything. You know, my internet is slow, तो बहुत slow load हो रहा है, but yeah, there's so many content here if you see and scroll. Okay, so there are various worksheets here. आपको lesson plans भी मिल जाएंगे playing with numbers के या कोई कोई चीजों के. So teachers have uploaded, you know, whatever they can. And फिर यहाँ पर science के लिए भी है 6, 7 and 8. So you can always refer to this website. You know, it's kind of nice and it's kind of reliable as well. Okay. So KV is another one. I showed this. Okay, teachers, a disclaimer. Before I share the link to this, I want to give a disclaimer. Okay, it's written by, published by CBSE Mathematics, but I'm not sure whether it's a reliable CBSE link or not. But this link can help you to get an idea कि एक lesson plan कैसे prepare करते हैं. ठीक है? Disclaimer: this link is just to give you an idea because I felt कि जो वे से यहाँ लेसन प्लान प्रिपेयर किया हुआ था, इट वाज वेरी वेरी गुड एंड इट वाज वेरी वेरी डिटेल्ड ओरिएंटेड. सो अ वेरी गुड आइडिया दिस कैन गिव यू. यू कैन सी चैप्टर 1 क्लास 10 रियल नंबर्स जो है उसके लिए यहाँ पर वेरी ब्यूटीफुली द लेसन प्लान इज प्रिपेयर्ड यहाँ पर. सो इट विल जस्ट गिव यू एन आइडिया. यू कैन सी हाउ ब्यूटीफुली दे आर प्रिपेयर्ड, टीचिंग एड्स, मेथोडोलॉजी, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. Then after stating so many objectives of the same, they have shown a diagram कि कैसे पूरा number system चलता है. Okay, to clarify it further, procedure they have shown, topic, you know, you can see all the topics here, expected outcomes they have shown, student deliverables they have shown, extended learning they have shown, assessment techniques they have shown. So it's very very beautiful and you can see so many teachers have commented नीचे में भी. So I feel कि this kind of lesson plans are like much better to prepare because it's very very detail oriented, having 100% of the details or at least 99.99%. Okay, so if you want to refer to it, do refer to it because in my perspective this is like a very very detailed lesson plan. Okay, so I'm sharing. To be honest, in all the links I showed you from the CBSE and KV, this is the one I liked a lot. That is why I'm showing you because it is very detailed and very well planned. So it will give you an idea कि कैसे plan करते हैं अच्छे से चीजों को. I'm sharing all the links again so that if anybody have missed the links, they can get a hold of it again. Okay. Three very important links for you. Mathematics teacher, you can see everything is stated here. Topic है, duration है, time duration है, prerequisite knowledge क्या होना चाहिए if you want to study this chapter, teaching aids, what are you using for it, projector, laptop, etc etc, methodology क्या है आपका, objectives क्या है आपका, diagrammatic presentations, so यार it's always so good, right? So again you can do it. And then procedure is there. Okay, so procedure they have explained, beginning the session by this and that, and how will you go about it. They have given the topics, and you can see all the things here. And the expected outcomes kya hai, what are the deliverables which are expected from the student, and then the extended learning and assessment techniques is also there. So this is like a wholesome lesson plan I found. So I just wanted to show you this as well. This I don't want to show, not very great. So yeah, coming back to the PPT, I've shared this also with all of you. Okay, and yeah, just a little out of topic. Okay, just a little out of topic. If you all want, okay, so if you all want, let's say some questions to give your students for practice, because in the lesson plan obviously you will state a number of questions you will give your students to practice, right? It's mathematics, it's a very practical subject. So if you want to see different types of questions more and more from more resources, these two resources are there. But let me tell you that these kind of questions are case study based questions and the MCQ type questions. Now Jagran Josh is a very good resource for the same. Okay, if you want I will share, but these are not CBSE ka sources. So if you feel they pose good questions, use it. If you feel no, these questions are not very reliable or good, don't use it. In my perspective, the questions were very good. So I'm having the links here. So you tell me, do you want the links for the same, teachers? Both of these links for case study questions and MCQs? Yeah, just check it out. And Jagran Josh, I'm telling you the name Jagran Josh, link mein likha hai, agar aap dekhenge, it's a good resource for questions. You can always find questions there. So I'm sharing both these links. Many questions you will find here for case studies and MCQs. So आप refer कर सकते हो, at least you will get 5 questions or 10 questions कम से कम. ठीक है, तो ये है आपका case study के लिए. ठीक है, and I found this particular link as well, which is very useful. I will show you also. Just give me 1 minute. I'm opening the link and showing you as well. ठीक है, एंड ये आपका लिंक है MCQs के लिए. या ठीक है, ये दोनों लिंक्स भी है. यू कैन, और सो व्हेनेवर यू कम फॉर अ वेबिनार, नो, जस्ट कम विद अ वर्ड डॉक, यू नो, ओपन, मतलब साइड बाय साइड, या फिर यू नो सम काइंड ऑफ नोट्स जहां पर आप सारे लिंक को कॉपी पेस्ट कर सके, बिकॉज देयर सो मेनी थिंग्स ऑनलाइन, यू नो, अवेलेबल राइट नाउ, एंड देयर सो मेनी थिंग्स यू कैन रेफर. सो या सी दिस वन. See, chapter wise they have given, teachers. It's a gold mine. This particular link is a gold mine for you if you feel the questions are reliable. Okay, class 10th MCQs chapter wise they have given 1 2 3 4 5 6. You can just give them questions like anything. See, ये आपका MCQs का link था, and I'll show you the other link also. Where is my PPT? Yeah, here it is. I'll show you the case study वाला link also. 1 minute. Check out the questions. If you feel like you can use it, why not? Go ahead. Exhaust all the resources, what you can. Just a minute, it's opening. Now, if you see the case study link, okay, you can see here, case study questions 2021. You can see 50 pages का ये पूरा doc है यहाँ पर, इसको आप scroll कर सकते हो. All the questions are here, case studies. You can see polynomials case study 1. You can see here. Okay, so good links. If you want to use it, go ahead with the same. Very helpful actually. Vishnu Priya ji, honestly, I couldn't find anything much for grade 1, 2, and 3. From 4 to 10, I found like literally everything. It was very difficult to find, especially for grade 1, 2, and 3. And then 11th and 12th also, syllabus is there, which is released by CBSE. So for these grades, I literally couldn't. But Vishnu Priya ji, as I told you, you can always, you know, reach the CBSE website and you can see the content, you know, the circular which they have posted. And template I have given you only. So all the teachers, don't be disheartened. Template will be the same for all. Aap standard 1 ki teacher ho, or you, Vandanji, yes. We are having for different subjects. This was for mathematics. Next webinar will be, for science or SST or English. So we are having 3 more webinars on lesson plan. SST ke liye we are having. SST ke liye we will have, English ke liye we will have, and science ke liye bhi we will have. And I am gonna be the speaker. So don't worry about that. Yes, for Hindi also, I will note it down. I'll keep one for Hindi also. Okay. So 5 subjects ke liye we'll have different webinars. Basic content will be the same, but lesson plan pura different hoga. Okay. So the template which I gave to all the mathematics teacher today, standard 1 से 12 तक apply होता है. वो template is the same, just the content will be different. Okay. Pratima ji, SST. Okay, give me 1 minute. I'm telling you the schedule. Okay, when it is. I am gonna be the speaker again, so please do attend. The content will be useful for you. I can vouch for that. And today was maths. Just a minute. SST is. For science, teachers, important. For science, we are having on next Wednesday, that is 17th. So see, all our webinars happen Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, that is how the webinars happen. So today is Wednesday. Okay, Friday will be some different topic which will be taken by me only. Saturday will be for English. So all the teachers, English teachers, Saturday English ke liye hoga. Next Wednesday science ke liye hoga, and the next Friday will be SST. Okay. So science, SST, English, and Hindi will keep next Monday again. So don't worry, you will get the information, from the homework app and team, obviously on WhatsApp or application. Just see your subject and do attend the webinar. Okay. This week we are gonna have for for 1 actually. For English we are having, and next week we are gonna have science and SST, and then we'll have Hindi. Okay. Yeah. Only one thing I want to show you again. Okay. All of you do know this, right? Key homework app aligns very closely with the CBSE and the NEP 2020. There's a new feature which actually helps you to demand a lesson plan from the homework app. So if you don't have a lesson plan of your own, you can actually demand one from the homework app as well. And I will show you how. Okay, so that अगर आपको demand भी करनी है lesson plan, if you don't have कोई भी website resource you don't want to refer and you want more to refer, you can reach this particular resource as well. So just give me 1 minute. I'm going to show you that as well. If you go to the homework app, you will see an option there, that ask for a lesson plan. Something like that will be there on the top of the screen. I'll just show you. 1 minute. So all the IT subject, no, that's not really my area of specialization. I'm, sorry for that. But yeah, Netravati ji, I think I won't be able to take for IT subject. Not at all good at it. So teachers, how was today's webinar? Honestly, how was today's webinar? Anything you feel missing? Anything else you want me to improve? How was it overall? How was everything? Yes, we will have the same lesson plan webinars for English, SST, Hindi, and which subject I'm leaving out? Science. Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, I am very shameless in this thing. I always ask people ki mere ko tareef de do if you want to. Because it feels good. After the webinar, I'll feel good and okay, fine. Today was good. People enjoyed. Just give me 1 minute. I'll show you how to ask from the homework app as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm presenting my phone screen to show you ki after all these resources, okay, which are like very, very good. But if you want more lesson plans just for sake, okay, definitely Netravati ji, it's noted, definitely. If you want more, you can demand from the homework app as well. I'll just show you very quickly how you can do that, okay? You can do it right now also, everyone along with me. If you want more lesson plan, you can ask from the homework app as well, and I'll show you how. You can open the homework app on your screens as and when I go ahead, so that you also have an idea कि कैसे होता है. ठीक है? Okay. Just open the homework app, okay? If you're using the homework app, if you're not using the homework app, but if you have it on your phone and you want more lesson plans, just open the homework app, okay? This is one another source for you. After all the links I shared, this is the last resource I have, okay? So if you open the homework app and if you see, खाली ऊपर का जो scroll करिए, on the top of my screen, you can scroll it, okay? Just scroll left. Can you see get lesson plans, everyone? Can you see get lesson plans option? Please say a yes or a no. Everyone. You can see get lesson plans right here on the top of my screen. Get lesson plans request now. This option is specially introduced for teachers, okay? Get lesson plan. On the top of the screen, you will see get lesson plans. Just go in it, okay? If you don't want to waste your time after the webinar, you can do it now also, okay? Just click on it and you will see a Google form which is opening like this, request lesson plans, okay? Okay, my phone screen tilted, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So you can just enter your email ID, for which grades you want, you can check. For which subject do you need lesson plan, you can enter your subject as well. If you want other subjects, you can enter here. Why do you need the lesson plan, and when and how you will use the lesson plan? Just answer these 5 basic questions and submit the form, and then the homework app and team will get back to you with the same. So this is one last resource where you can actually demand lesson plans as well. It's an official team of IITians. And Vanna ji, I really don't have an idea if it's free, but you can definitely try it out, right? Try करने में क्या है? मतलब एक बार पूछ लीजिए. I think all the people here, you know, oh, Binta ji already did it. That's great. All the teachers can also do it. Just request one and see if the team gets back to you with any information karke. But I think it's free of course. But if it's not, then you can collaborate with the team for the same. Okay. So this is one other resource. Okay. Sarvjit ji, I can't share the link because it's inside the homework app. So you just open the homework app, ma'am. I'll show you once again. Okay, if you have any confusion. Okay, जितनों के पास homework app है ना teachers, आप लोग homework app open कर लीजिए. आपको वहीं दिख जाएगा कैसे करना है. Okay, if you open the homework app on the top of your screen, if you scroll, you can see I'm scrolling on the top of my screen. Okay, get lesson plans. Can you see this option? I'm shaking it right now. Get lesson plans, request now. Okay, so you can just fill the Google form and request for the lesson plan to the homework app and team. Okay, so that is something you can do, which was the last resource I had today to show you कि यहाँ से भी lesson plans आप लोग ले सकते हैं. बाकी the resources I shared should be more than enough as well. But if you're getting more, then क्या ही problem है? Yeah. All right. It's 7:10 p.m. and I told you I'll share the attendance link with all of you. Just give me 1 second.